I have written numerous articles criticizing the decisions of federal judges nominated by Donald Trump. So when two Trump appointees make the right call, not once, but twice in a high-stakes redistricting fight that could affect Republicans' control of Congress, their actions deserve attention and praise. The justices met this week with Clinton nominee Stanley Marcus of the 11th U.S. Court of Appeals, who notably condemned Alabama's failure to comply with that law, in an attempt to redraw congressional maps to give black voters a better chance of electing candidates of their choice. Of course, there is a less rosy side. This still evolving story: mass resistance to civil rights is still alive and well in Alabama, so much so that even Trump justices had faulted the state for its stubbornness in face of a loss. Both comments are correct. It seems odd to praise Trump judges simply for doing their job and following the law. But given performance, many of his colleagues, an ugly reaction Alabama legislature to judicial decision, it seems appropriate to talk about glass half full. In the end, the rule of law will prevail, albeit late. To summarize, Alabama had no black members of Congress for 115 years. From 1877 to 1992, there is now only one black representative in the state's 7 congressional districts. Even though the state's population is 27% black, and it took a lawsuit to create this majority black district, when legislature readmitted a majority black district after 2020 census, black voters sued, claiming district violated Section 2 of Voting Rights Act, which prohibits rules and practices that do not provide equal opportunity to minority voters electing candidates of their own choosing. Follow the opinions of Ruth Marcus. The special 3-judge court convened to hear case agreed, finding that question of whether maps violated Voting Rights Act was not an imminent issue. Alabama appealed Supreme Court, where 5 conservative justices allowed the 2022 election to be held under current map, which was found discriminate against black voters. But in a 54 decision handed down in June, the majority surprisingly sided with the lower court, clearly frustrated with what Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr. called Alabama's attempt to remake our Part 2 jurisprudence. The state legislature passed new maps that included one district with a majority black population and another with only 40% black voters. This was very different from what the lower court had ordered. So another slap hit Alabama. We do not take lightly federal interference in a process normally reserved for state legislature. The 3-judge court wrote in a 196-page decision filled with frustration over states' intransigence. But we said twice that the Voting Rights Act case is not imminent. And we are deeply disturbed that the state has enacted a map that it readily acknowledges does not provide the solution we say federal law requires. Noting T.